Sup, guys? It's Alex Chiu coming at you with another episode. This episode, I just want to tell everyone, my technology is sort of like, I don't know, it's sort of like from Twilight Zone. I mean, what everything that I do, my technology, you know, yeah, my technology would put you in a trance and make you feel like, the world is Twilight Zone, which is good, which is good. But before I talk about that, I want to tell you my name is Alex Chu. I'm the guy who invented physical mortality rings. These are rings that you put on your small fingers during sleep. You wear them, you don't age anymore. You become physically immortal. For example, I'm already 50, you know, and I still sound pretty young, right? Still have a nice skin. Have a little bit of white hair over here, but it doesn't really matter. I shave it, nobody can see it. See, I'm still pretty slim, right? Don't have any beer belly, nothing. My belly's really smooth, so you can just by looking at my belly, you can tell. I never work out. I never go to the gym. I see people go to the gym. I think I don't know. I don't understand that shit. I don't understand it. I never ever. I mean, when I was 23, I bought a home gym, like a machine, like a home machine, cost me 150. I bought it in Kmart. That was it. And I immediately sold that. I sold that to somebody else. Somebody come pick it up, and uh, that was the end of it. Then after that I never ever worked out again. I was 23 or 24 that time. After that I never ever worked out ever again. Okay, my only working is cooking. But anyway, you're interested? You want to be like me when you're 50? Okay, buy a pair of these rings. LiveMuchLonger.com. LiveMuchLonger.com. Link is at the bottom of this video. But yeah, I just want to tell you, my technology sort of put you in Twilight Zone, because I saw a lot of my favorite TV show is probably Three's Company. If not Three's Company, Twilight Zone. If not Twilight Zone, probably Star Trek or something. Star Trek or I also like some Disney Kids channel, but usually just Twilight Zone or Star Trek. I really love science fiction, just like all Americans, right? Um, I don't know, but recently it's like Star Trek and Star Wars, they are dying. Well, I understand they ran out of ideas. You understand? See, after Darth Vader died, it's really it just everything just start to go downhill. I sort of like the Revenge of the Fist. Whatever. It's like the ones that were produced in the movies that were produced in what 1990 or 2000. With Anakin Skywalker when he was just a little kid. I sort of enjoyed those two or three movies, but Force Awakens was okay, but then after Force Awakens, everything goes downhill really, really, really fast. Everything went downhill really fast, and then Star Trek is also it's dying. Star Trek is dying because it's like nowadays. I mean, our technology is pretty advanced, right? Everybody has a cell phone, and everybody is like Spock, like Star Trek. Everybody has that little phaser thing, like a cell phone. Everybody has one, and it's just I don't know. It's not that interesting anymore. Star Trek is not that interesting anymore. Back in the days, you see they beam Scotty beam me up. They beam people to places. Nowadays, you don't need to be beamed somewhere because you got YouTube, right? If you want to watch the Eiffel Tower of Paris, you just go to a YouTube channel that shows Eiffel Tower and just fucking watch the video. It's just, you don't actually need to be there, to see the view of the Paris Eiffel Tower. So I don't know, man. But my rings, right? It sort of put people in a trance. It sort of like bring you into the Twilight Zone. The reason is because imagine you never age. Like me, I could I think you know what I think. I think, how am I supposed to die? How am I supposed to die? I don't know. Sometimes I think to myself, do I get into a car crash, or somebody murder me, or I don't know, like something happening to me? I take my own life. But I would never imagine me like dying of old age, right? That's out of the question. You wear the rings, you don't die of old age. Or get some sort of like fatal disease like cancer. Usually, when you put on the rings, you don't get that kind of disease. You don't get like cancer or a heart attack or something. You don't usually, if you put on the rings, you don't usually get that kind of disease. Or like old age disease like cancer or heart issues or heart attack or whatever. Or diabetes, or you don't usually die from that. So people who wear the rings is usually just some, if one day somebody murder you, or if you die in some sort of car crash or airplane crash or something. But then you start to wonder, oh my God, if nobody kills me, then what the fuck? I live to be 200 or 300. Oh my God, that's pretty darn old. That is very, very, very old. I'm not sure if I want to live that long. Serious. I'm not sure if I want to live that long, because if you live that long, you're like, what the fuck? You're like a vampire. What the fuck? You're like a vampire who survived. You ever watch? You guys ever watch that movie? The what is that? Interview with the Vampire or something? I forgot. What's that? I forgot the title of that movie, but it was it was starring uh Tom Cruise, and the other one is, who is this? The other one is Brad Pitt. Oh yeah, Brad Pitt. Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. You know. Yeah. Is it Interview with the Empire? I forgot the exact name, but they're in the movie, right? These two, they were vampires. They were like ancient, man. They they're like 300-year old or something, 300 or 400-year old. They never died. You know, for 400 years old. They were there when Washington was alive. And then it's like they can't die. And right now I start to think about that. I start to think about that a little bit. Because wow, come to think of it, living 100, I mean, 100-year old, you still look like this. Damn, that's pretty. That is pretty old. I mean, if I am 100 and I still look like this, I don't know what to think. It's like, well, I guess I think too much, because hey, I could always kill myself. You know what I'm saying? One gunshot. That's it. I don't want to live anymore. I could always kill myself. But see, that's what you're dealing with when you put on the rings. It's like you don't, you're not gonna die from old age. You know there's no cancer or nothing like that. But you just start to think, oh my God, how am I supposed to die? Somebody kill me, or I kill myself, or I die in a car accident, whatever. But one thing good is that you know that all the way until the end you don't suffer. Like all the way until the day you die, you don't really suffer. You stay in the same form. You know what I'm saying? You stay in this form, pretty much the same form. Pretty much the same. I don't know, body strength and body condition. Uh, and then with the rings and the machine, for example, healing is faster. For example, I'm suffering from asthma, right? But with the machine, it's like it start to heal. It start to heal up, so my asthma improve. So what I'm doing right now is I became a vegetarian. I plan to eat only for vegetable and eggs. Eggs, I could eat eggs for another 2 months, and I'll see what happens. See if my asthma like totally improve. If my asthma doesn't disappear, I can eat meat again. See, back in the days, if I eat a little meat, I noticed that like during the day, my breathing is a little, I don't know. I feel like I'm taking a deep breath like all the time. It's not a comfortable feeling. I don't get asthma attack, but I feel like, I don't know, breathing is a little strange. It's like breathing is awkward. I don't like that feeling. So I started to eat only vegetable a few days ago, and yeah, my breathing is normal all the time now. Like I don't feel like my breathing is different. But with the machine and the rings, it's like you sort of like healing is faster, so you get to live a long time. And also another thing is, everybody who watched my channel knows that I composed uh alternate alternative Imperial March that I think it's good enough to pair off to John Williams' Imperial March. Right now, after I The first portion, so-so, but my second portion, my later portion, if I think it's good enough to pair up with John Williams' Imperial March. If people hear my soundtrack, people hear John Williams, a lot of people would say, man, I don't know which one is better. It's hard to tell which one's better. You know what? I wrote that shit in 3.5 months, man. Think about it. I mean, what I mean is this. I never had any musical training. I used to sing karaoke. That's about it. I used to, all Asian boys do. All Asian guys and girls, they do that. Because karaoke was a huge thing in Japan, in China, in Hong Kong. It's a huge thing back in the days. Everybody go to the karaoke bar and sing, especially if you're Asian, right? Now, I was singing karaoke with my Asian friends and stuff. But other than that, I really didn't have any like musical training. I live in my cousin's house. I play a little bit piano, but that was a long time ago. I was 15. I sort of like learned how to read a little bit of notes, but what the fuck? It's like taking a Spanish class. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I was in high school, I took a Spanish class. After I got out of that class, I totally forgot it. I forgot everything. I forgot. I don't speak a word of Spanish after I finished taking that class. Same thing with piano. I mean, I learned how to read notes by myself a little bit, but then after I moved out of her house, after I moved out of my cousin's house, I totally forgot it. Totally forgot about piano, and it was just. But so I never had any musical training, right? I never played violin. I touched the violin once at my friend's home. I went to my friend's house when I was 8 years old. I touched the violin once. It didn't make a sound. I don't know why. Maybe he didn't brush his hair. Violins are made of horsehair, right? The bow is made of horsehair. Maybe he did not clean it. That's the reason why when I try to touch it, I try to touch the string with the bow. It didn't. It failed to make a sound. I don't know why. But imagine I composed that music 3.5 months, and you know what? It does pair up with John Williams' Imperial March. It does sound pretty good. It sounds good enough to pair up with his Imperial March. I swear to God, most people who hear my music would say, "Oh, this is composed by some professional composer. Probably it probably came out of a, you know, like a professional studio." I wouldn't say that sound quality is professional because I'm using a cheap free software, to compose this. But at least it's good enough for a sample. People would say this is done by a professional who conduct music for movies, probably one of these famous composers or something. But no, think about it. I did it in 3.5 months. I don't have any musical history. I don't have any musical background. To most people, they would say, "Oh, this is like this. This came straight out of Twilight Zone." I mean, this motherfucker came out of Twilight Zone. You watch a lot of Twilight Zone episodes, like people learn how to play piano within 1 day or 2, 3 days. Some guy, he swallowed a pill, like pill that makes you smart, or a pill that makes your brain, like, I don't know, make your brain, like, increase your brain capacity. And then the guy can learn how to play piano in 3 days or something. Like, he doesn't know any piano, and then he play piano like a pro in 3 days, you know, or in my case, my case is even more incredible because I can pair up with John Williams' best score, Imperial March, in 3.5 months. I don't know any music back in the days. I didn't know nothing about piano. I didn't know nothing about conducting, composing. I don't know anything. But I can make, you understand, that's a totally different story. You learn how to play piano in 3 days. Okay, you play Beethoven, Bach, whatever, right, in 3 days. Okay, ooh, you're a genius. But you can compose like John Williams in 3.5 months. That's I don't know what to say. If I swear to God, if it's not me, right, I'm just some normal dude. I'm like, wow, this is like a Twilight Zone movie. This is like a Twilight Zone TV episode. Like you can pair up with the best composer in the nation. In 3.5 months. See, composing is not like piano. You just you just hit the keys. You fucking read the notes and you hit the keys. That's it, right? No brain to it. There's not much brain to it. You just have to hit the correct keys, you know. But you conduct, you go out there and compose like you know like some hot shot a composer, you know. I'm talking John Williams, man. I'm talking Imperial March, 3.5 months. You know, that's like fucking straight out of Twilight Zone. I'm not joking, man. If it's not me, that's what I would say. This motherfucker came out of Twilight Zone, you know. But hey, when you wear the rings, when you use the cell realignment machine to realign your brain cell, that's what happens to you. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can do things to surprise people, you know, because you're so fucking incredible. Imagine you're like me, I'm 50, right? But then my brain is sort of like a teenager's brain. And then it's getting smarter all the time. My brain is getting smarter all the time. The reason is because now I know how to conduct, right? I know how to compose. See, I used to be a feng shui master. I used to, if people know me, well, I wrote a book called Super I Ching, you know? It's 900 pages long. And I know all sorts of feng shui and I Ching, or, you know, like, sort of, I Ching is sort of like a Chinese tarot card, you know? Like fortune telling technique, you know? I never forgot it. I never forgot any of it, you know? When you put on the rings, you don't really forget what you learn, you know? And so my feng, I added feng shui into that song that I composed. So the feng shui is actually better than John Williams' Imperial March, but that's another story. I'm going to tell you about that later. But it's like, and then I speak like 4 or 5 different languages. You know, I mean, well, I don't speak German, but I totally understand it. I could watch German TV shows. So it's sort of like when you wear the rings and when you use this, especially cell realignment machine, when you put it near your head, you realign the brain cell. Wow, it does make you feel like you're living inside a Twilight Zone. You're living in Twilight Zone because it's like you can do whatever you want. You know, you can go out there and do whatever you want, and you're unpredictable. Nobody knows what's your next move. I don't even know what I'm gonna do next. You know, oh, because I just, you know, these 3.5 months I composed music and it's good enough to pair up with John Williams' Imperial March. I don't know what I'm gonna. I don't know what I'm gonna do next. You know, but everything I do is, I'm telling you, it's like sort of like came out, you know, it's like a episode out of Twilight Zone or something. But you can do the same, you know. See, with my rings, with the cell realignment machine, you can be just like me. You can do that, and you don't care if Star Wars is dying, or Star Trek is dying, or all the fucking Superman and Batman, they're all dying. Who gives a shit? Nobody cares because you are officially a science fiction character. You are from the Twilight Zone. If you wear my rings, you use the cell realignment machine, you yourself, you're the superhero. You know, you are from the movies. You are from Twilight Zone TV episodes. You know, you don't need science fiction anymore. You are science fiction. But anyway, that's all I want to say for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed my channel. Uh, if you like my channel, please subscribe. Talk to you later.